Hey everybody, E3 is right around the corner and Microsoft's kicking it off. So I made my list of what I want to hear from Microsoft. Well, the big stuff is DirectX, Sunset Overdrive, the whole new gold features with free games, Halo, Gears, all the big stuff that everyone wants to hear, most people anyways. Quantum Break, Sam Lake, the lead guy at Remedy Games, said that on one of his new videos for the Quantum Break that they'll be showing more of that at PAX in August, so probably won't see too much of that at E3. Don't even get me started on the third-party games. Always go PS4 because of the better quality. But those are probably the big ones that most people want to hear. But for me, I got different views of what I want from Xbox. I've been with Xbox for a while now. I've always had kind of like a distaste in my mouth for Sony. I mean, hey, I'm all Sony now. Don't get me wrong, but I've kind of been a Xbox faithful since the original Xbox, all because PlayStation 2 beat the living shit out of my beloved Sega Dreamcast. But right now, I'm 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 kind of in the middle. I like both systems. But what I want to see from Xbox, what I want to hear I would love to see Hironobu Sakaguchi come out on stage and say, "We are making a Lost Odyssey 2." That would be umero numero number one on my list. Oh my God, you know how many people would love that? How many people would be so excited for a Lost Odyssey 2? If you played Lost Odyssey, you've always wanted a Lost Odyssey 2. The last thing Hironobu Sakaguchi did was the last story for the Wii back in 2011. That was it. So I don't know what he's doing now, but I hope he's making Lost Odyssey too, because the last one came out in '08 and everyone's wanted one since. Oh man, that'd be great. Number two for me would be, and these are old games. One was back in '03 called Kung Fu Chaos, made by Just Add Monsters, which are now called Ninja Theory. And I hate Ninja Theory. I harp on them all the time. I think what they did to Devil May Cry was horrid. I hated Dante. I liked their Enslaved Odyssey to the West back in 2010. That was a good game. Heavenly Sword back in '07 for the PS3. That sucked. That was a God of War ripoff. Just I hated it. But back in 2003, when they were still called Just Dead Monsters, Kung Fu Chaos, which best explained is an old kung fu movie meets Super Smash Brothers. That's just what I'm gonna say. Look it up if you want a better description. That's all I'm gonna say. But that was an amazing game. I'd love to see a sequel to that. Whacked. Whacked. I would love to see another Whacked game. That came out back in '02 for the original Xbox, the real Xbox One. It was made by Presto Studios, and since '02, when they made Whacked, I don't know, they dropped off the map. So I don't even know if they're still around. Probably not, but if they are, they're probably desperate for work. So I hope Microsoft called them up and said, "Hey, let's make a Whacked 2." Let's be real, they didn't call them up and say that, but I wish they did. Another one would be Rare. The company Rare, one of the most respected game developers in the world, and they're stuck making Connect Sports. Jesus fucking Christ. You know what? I That just pisses me off because back in '05 when the Xbox 360 first launched, they came out with two launch games for them. Cameo, Elements of Power, and Perfect Dark Zero. I mean, those aren't the most, greatest games ever. They're probably a lot of people think they suck, but still, two release games, and those were real games at least, not Connect games. Like they don't even stand a chance now. They got to use the Connect to make games. Of course, the games are gonna suck. I would love to see a Banjo-Kazooie. Man, if Rare could make another Banjo-Kazooie, that'd be the good fun kid game that Xbox needs to make it more family friendly. They got a lot of M for mature games on there. So, they're trying to be the ultimate device for whatever that, like, geez, I don't know, whatever they're trying to make it, the ultimate TV home gaming system. Probably should throw in some kids games there. I think Banjo-Kazooie would be a good one. And the first one back in '98 for the 64 is one of my all-time favorites. So I'd love to see Rare do something, preferably Banjo-Kazooie. Another one, another games I'd like to see come out, Deadly Premonition. I'd like to see another Deadly Premonition. I know the first one's now on PS3. So I don't know how that works, but I'd like to see them come out with Deadly Premonition 2. I haven't played it. It looks amazing. I've heard good things about it. So I'd like to see a next gen version of that. That, and how about this Xbox? Instead of Forza all the time, you know that Forza game you keep shoving down our throats? How about the other racing game you have? The other good one, Project Gotham Racing. What the hell ever happened to that? Why the hell did you stop making that? You know what I mean? I got an idea. How about you make the next Forza, and instead of calling it Forza, just put Project Gotham Racing on it. That way, even if it's the same gameplay, at least you got a different name to a freaking racing game. Okay, like, geez, Project Gotham Racing, that was a pretty big racing game, so you might want to bring that up, and that bolsters your like that's two racing games. Sony don't have that. Like that's something you could do. You'd have two racing franchises on your side. Project Gotham Racing, man, man, that used to be a big deal, man. I can't believe this hasn't had one out for a while. Oh, yes, the next two. I saved these for last because I think I'm going to get a lot of heat for what I'm about to say. But what I'm about to say needs to be said. So I'm going to say it now. I don't want, everyone says they're going to do this, but I hope it's not true. I don't want them to give up on the Connect. I really don't. I know they said they're not going to, but most people are saying that's bullshit and that they are going to. And I tend to believe with the people that think it's bullshit. Phil Spencer came out there and said, I lied. Phil Spencer walked out on stage and said, Microsoft, the Xbox, at Xbox, we lied to you. We said we were going to give you a connectless $400 system. We're not going to do that. We're going to give you a $400 system with the Kinect still. In other words, just drop the price but keep the Kinect. Because to be honest with you, if they drop the Kinect, you're buying a $400 system, which the PS4s do, but it's just you're buying a weaker version of the PS4. That's it. I think they need the Kinect. I love the fact that they're lowering the price, but they need to keep the Kinect. I really do. And obviously there's rumors that it takes 30% of the power away from the Xbox. So if they made a device where you could plug the Kinect and get its main source power from an outlet, that'd be awesome. That way it won't draw any power away from the Xbox, but it still use all the functions that the Xbox can use. You know what I mean? Instead of drawing it away from the Xbox One. But I'm not really sure how that works, so that might not even be a possibility. But don't get rid of the Kinect, because think about it. It adds extra buttons to the controller. When you play an RPG like Skyrim or Witcher, you got to open up the attack wheel and pick a magic attack. But this way, you could just say the magic attack. Think of that. That's like next gen gaming to me. Is like saying your attacks, like Fireball or whatever, Wind Turbo, whatever the fuck the attack's called. Like you can say it instead of pushing a button and doing it. So that ups like how many attacks you can do right there. Obviously, they're gonna have to send a patch to fix the Kinect because it's not responsive enough for something like that. But I think there's a lot of good ideas that can happen with the Kinect. I'm not saying make Kinect games like Kinect Sports and all that bullshit. The Fighter Within, that shit sucks. That shit's gotta go. That's just horse stuff. But they can take the games that use the conventional controller and just add on to them. They really, really could. Microsoft, they never gave the Kinect a chance. All they did was give shitty ass games. If they really used the Kinect, if they really tried, it would have worked. It would have worked. And you know what? The whole fact that it's $500 because the Kinect is bullshit. Because the system's weaker than the PS4. So the way I see it is, if the PS4's $400, the Xbox One is at most $350. So if the Kinect's $100, the system should have been no more than $450. There's no reason why the Xbox One is being sold the same price without the Kinect as the PS4. It's not as powerful as a system. It's bullshit that they're ripping you off. That's just, I don't know, whatever. And last on the list this is another one I'm going to take heat for. Ryse. I think Ryse. Oh shit, no, I had one more. Well, I'm going to do Ryse. Ryse real quick. I think it's got a lot of potential. Just beef up the gameplay. I love the cinematics. It's a beautiful game. They just need to make the gameplay funner. And instead of making one in Rome, maybe do kind of like what Final Fantasy does, a different story, different characters every game. Like maybe this next Rise, maybe do one with Vikings, or maybe do one in like feudal Japan or something. Brand new characters, different timeline. But another one I think is a big one that no one really thinks of is having their own anime app. You know, right now they got this thing called the Anime Dojo where you can see the latest animes on Hulu and Netflix. But if they made their own animes based off of their video games or just based off of just brand new stories and put it on an app for gold members, um, dude, that'd be awesome because I think anime and video games go hand in hand sometimes. So the fact that they're trying to make the all-around system like movies, TV, sports, well, how about some anime? Make it like start making your own anime and give it free to gold members, based off of Halo or just brand new stuff. So that's my list of what I want to hear from Xbox. If you agree, just put down a comment. See ya.